Do you ever mean to start to do something and then all of a sudden you're just like, oh God, I'm a bit tired now. I'm naked. It's Tuesday night. Tuesday night is normally music night. But currently my moderately easy life has suddenly turned into 11, 12-hour days and it's killing me. Thinking or doing, because I obviously can't spell. Thinking or doing a Q&A at some point this week. Ask away. I always ask these things hoping that someone's going to ask me some existential question and I'm going to sit there and have a really good conversation about how the world should or ought to be. And it never happens. It's just horse-sized ducks, duck-sized horses all the time. And it's just absolute decades into horrible chaos. Except for this one. And just the first two questions were instantly just amazing. Dale Bentley. What are your favourite pair of old school trainers? 90s Dave in the house! Exclamation mark, exclamation mark. Can you remember posting your Nike Air Flight a couple of years ago? Stalky stalk stalk! So I'm assuming you're a bit of a trainer buff. Yes. I love the Jordans with the little spray can toggle. Now if you're talking about the ones... I don't think it was a spray can toggle. I think it was just a little toggle that held the laces. Now, if I'm not mistaken, it's the Air Jordan Mark 4s that have got elasticated side tongues, had plastic bits heel and toe that if you didn't do up would just splay out, which is what I would still do now, and are, interestingly, maybe not, the single greatest pair of shoes. I went to get my hair cut about 6 months ago and there was a guy in there having his hair cut who had white Air Jordan Mark 4s but with baby blue, so the 23 embroidered logo was baby blue and half the sole was and it was really light baby blue and they were just so bright white and beautiful and I just I love them. I think me being a trainer buff started... I always liked trainers. I always liked trainers, and I remember when I was a kiddie it was all about who had the best tread on the bottom and who couldn't slip on concrete and stuff like that. And then we'd all get slightly shit shoes and try to see if you could slide on concrete and end up killing ourselves. Adidas used to do these American football style ones with these rubber studs on the bottom. And I'm sure on AstroTurf or something they're amazing, but if you wore them on concrete you could slide for miles. They're a bit dangerous. I, on the other hand, have always loved Nikes. And I love feelers, because Leroy from The Prodigy wore feelers in the video to Everybody's Got the Place. Everybody in the place. Everybody in the place. Let's go. And he danced in them and he was cool. And now I've had loads of them. 3 pairs of just plain white ones, so they're all white. And I want another pair if I can find them. I've had black ones, red ones, blue ones, white ones with blue soles. Baby blue. White baby blue! See? It's just the best colourway and I don't own a pair because my Air Flights are half a size too small. Pristine condition. But with red piping. And I know Air Flights have just generally red piping, but... I had a pair. This is probably what got me into it. This is when I realised that I was really into shoes. Because I had a pair of the same shoes that the Fresh Prince of Bel-Air wore on the telly. As he wore them on The Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, I was wearing that pair of white Air Force 180s. High tops. With neon green soles and tongues. With a Velcro stripe that went across, Velcro tag that went across the shoelace. Which you would leave undone. So it would stick up. Which I still do now on my feelers. Still do it right now. I love them. I've got blue suede ones at the moment. I love shoes. I love that question. I keep looking at me. I might turn the thing round in a minute. I've got 25 minutes. Let's do this. No, because then I can see if I'm in focus. I might just stay back here. I'm feeling conspicuous. Matt Wood. Can I ask two? Cheeky? Greedy. On TF related. One TF related. I spelt the title wrong. You're allowed to spell it wrong inside the questione. Can I ask two? One TF related one and one modelling related. TF, what is your first memory of Transformers? Christmas. There are two. One, when the cartoon was on during the summer holidays, we had to go out. We couldn't watch Transformers. No one was around to tape it. And I had a fucking horrible hissy fit. And got in trouble. Proper trouble. Like mum and dad trouble. Because of my bad attitude. The other one is Nan and Grandad came round. And when Nan and Grandad came round, I put them all in a great big queue together. Just to see how far in Transformers we could get, which was about half the living room, which I was very proud of. But I do remember there being quite a few toys in there, so it would have been very late on. I say late on, it would have only been 85, because that was when Grimlock was cool. That was that year. It was that year, 85. Because after that, boobs turned up, because I was like 13. Modelling. What are your tips for people wanting to get started in model building painting? You can build very, very nice models without an airbrush. Ask God Pikachu, because he's done some corkers. Just do it. Buy a kit that you like. In fact, don't buy a kit that you like, if I'm honest. Don't buy the kit that you like, because then when you don't build it to the standard that you want, you'll be all pissy about it, and then you won't try a second one, and it won't give you a very good representation of what it is to be a modeler. Go and spend $12.99 on some dog shit little Matchbox Spitfire model, or a Messerschmitt, or the BAE Lightning is a good fun model to build. I have a thing for Harrier jump jets, they're very good. F-14 Tomcat. Build an F-14 Tomcat. That will cost you about 25 quid. Build an F-14 Tomcat. Build everything except for the canopy. Leave the canopy off. Or because if you masking the canopy is a proper arseache. And paint it. Use paint. Thin paint. But prime, always prime properly. Always Optimus Prime the best you can. Buy a can of spray paint, prime everything, prime it last, doesn't matter. Just do a first model, get it done with, and then learn what went wrong, and then research what went wrong, and then next time do it better. I just like gluing together bits of plastic and turning them into things. It's just excellent fun. I'm thinking I'm going to do a models video soon, because I've got the other enterprise that I built, which is Tony Thrussell's, because I promised to give it to him once, and I will give it to him one day, but it's just going to cost £1 million to send out, and I've just got some bits to finish it. I put it on Facebook. I don't know if I've ever showed you. I've got the medium enterprise. I've got the little enterprise, which is the 1/1000 scale with all of the decals. It's not really a big thing. It's not clever. I didn't do it. But Battlestar Galactica, which is one of the proudest things I've ever done in my entire life. It's just beautiful. I'm really pleased with it. It's magic. I can't believe I'm the one that made it. And I've got my X-Wing. which is, again, I can't believe that I'm the one that made it. And I need to get my damn Falcon finished, because I definitely made that, and it's... And I'm making an Enterprise, the same as the other Enterprise that's Tony's. I'm remaking it in a lighter shade, with lights inside, and I've made RGB lights to go in the warp nacelles, and I'm going to use red and green clear spray, Tamiya spray, to make the... because it's not going to... the navigation lights aren't going to blink, they're just going to be permanently on. I can't afford a blinker unit, I'm not spending money on it, it's just something to get rid of the bad taste of doing the 1-350, because that was a shitty experience. It's not a shitty experience, and being positive, it just hasn't been going the way I thought I wanted it to, so I'm digging in, so to speak. Should I keep going? Why not? Anton de Cook. Hello, Dave. Hello, Dave. Hello, Dave. Question, my pretty. Many moons ago, in the days of the great Transformers YouTubing goodness, when many old and newbies littered the cyberways, how do you think the YouTube UK TF community is today, and how and what ideas would you put out there for new and old to get involved once again? What would you like to see other than just reviews? Do you know what works? Is give people tasks. If you're a leader, lead. And if you're not a leader, you've got no wish to lead. And if you are one of those people that sits there and thinks outside of the box and says, what can I do to make things a little bit different? Ask questions. Ask questions to people, well, what would you like to be doing? And then culminate all of that information. I don't really want to talk about it. I've got to sort it out. One person in all the questions that we asked at TFN. One person in all the questions that we asked at TFN said, I like it when you give us stuff to do. Can you give us more stuff to do? And you know what? I did. I just came home and started the weekend homework thing. I came home and started doing photo days, and I would just say to everyone, today is get a dog up your day, and everyone will go and get a dog up them. I said I was only going to have one, but I've had a really, really hard day. That's a lie. It was quite a hard day. I was fatigued when I got home. My legs are sore. And I was a bit kind of... So someone came round and I actually went down and spoke to them and didn't watch TV all night and wasn't antisocial. And it just seems to have been what I've needed. Give people what they want. Set them homework, because people don't like to think for themselves. And that's kind of a shit thing to say, and I'm not saying that in a negative way. I'm really, really not saying that in a negative way. But put it to the test yourself, okay? If you're hearing this and going, oh shush, what are you talking about, right? Firstly, if you care enough to get off your ass and actually do what I'm telling you now, then you're not part of the problem anyway. You're definitely, probably part of the solution already, which makes a really big difference. The other thing is, don't make one video, make 5-minute videos. Make them in succession. Don't make posts on Facebook, make 5 to 10 posts on Facebook. Keep people doing stuff, keep people noticing, because when people notice that other people notice, then they take more notice. It's as simple as that. So it's not the first one. Don't expect, if the first thing that you do isn't a massive success, then just remember that the 3rd or the 5th or the 10th might be, if you're passionate about making a change and about getting people to do and get involved a bit more. So I did. I know I haven't done it. I dread doing it. I'm really Yeah, one of the things I brought home with me, one golden guy that just said one thing. And when I came home from TF Nation, and you'll probably be able to go back and time track this when I did the first one. But yeah, I set people homework. I gave them stuff to do. Apart from that, third party's killing the scene. Third party's killing the scene. Because there's such a massive saturation of physical stuff that you can't keep up. And as a collector, it already means that as a collector, you're already a dirty, helpless, sick fuck that craves the crack. And when there's so much crack absolutely everywhere that you can be constantly high, you can never be high enough. You can never take enough drugs. Otherwise you just end up like Bobby motherfucking Skullface, or not Ben does it differently because Ben's found his little niche. Like Pior, like Emgo, like and weirdly, what's the other one? It's Pior and Bolt Matrix, who's gone so off the boil lately, it's unbelievable, and he's still got more subscribers than Pure. And Optibomus. I've gone off my train of thought. You become saturated. If you get everything, you don't love anything. I actually said to Emily this evening, because she was looking forward to the Plastic Crack, because we're booking for TF Nation. We're being organised. She's being organised and I'm going along with it. It's a beautiful thing. And she said about the Plastic Crack, and I said I'm not that bothered about the Plastic Crack. And not because I was going to say it's all about the people, but it is about the Plastic Crack. But I'm very, very aware that I've indulged myself far too graphically in the great big pile of sexy porn that is conventions. Because like you buy a whole load of shit which then you don't really touch, because then you buy loads more shit in between the conventions, and then you save up a load of money that you can't afford to go and buy even more stuff at conventions that you don't have time to play with, because by the time you get home, like, the first wave of Titan's Return has come out and there's no time in between. Especially when your other half's a collector too, so although you don't own them, you still get the likes of Tarn, who's doing the dab, Despotron, Carnifex. It's just mental. It's just mental. Things are mental at the moment. I don't know how. Something has to change. There's too much. There's too much. It's like music. If there's too much music, none of the music means anything. You get your pop trash in the charts that's there for 3 weeks and then it's disappeared. And it's literally gone. It's not like someone's going to cherish it in their record collection for a while. 99% of what's out now will live in the back of the phone's memory until you wipe a load of stuff off there because you have only got enough space left for 6 Snapchats. It's different now, said old Dave, being old. Bill Ledson, do you still play hockey? Yes, Bill, I do still play hockey. There's a very, very heart-rendering story behind it that I'm probably not allowed to tell you on YouTube. It is, however, one of the saddest things ever. I do still coach the kids. I love coaching the kids. I think half the reason I asked them to move down here is because I love coaching the kids. Jack Kerr, do you like potatoes? This is one of the questions that we were saying about earlier that doesn't mean anything and annoys me. But there's like only like it's one of them. It's okay. We'll go with it. Darth Vader versus Skeletor, and your reasoning behind the victor. Darth Vader, because Skeletor would only send someone else to do his own handiwork, dirty work, and Darth Vader will just fucking straight up murder him. Because Skeletor's shit. Because I never really liked He-Man. I'm just not down with it. Nine minutes left. I'm only going to the end of this. Bill Ledson, if you had the money and the opportunity to buy a car and paint it to represent any Transformer from any canon and bring it to conventions, what car and character would it be? I'd like my own Barricade, which would just be a bit of a shame because there's already a Barricade that goes to the English cons. I love Barricade, he's sadistic. And he's a Ford Mustang. And I've always liked Fords because I'm chavvy. I like Air Jordans and Fords. I'd like to change it to something else. I've often thought that if I won a lot of money, then I would make the old 350Zs. Prowl, Smokescreen. I'd quite like to do those. I'd quite like to get an old... quite like to get a Marmon 990, which was the old Rusty Optimus from Age of Extinction, and paint one of those in G1 colours. But in a really nice candy red, not just red. Richard Hawkins, your opinion on a long-awaited potential G1 spin-off series with Starscream and Cobra Commander called Star Commander. I don't know what that is or what you're talking about. Is this a thing? Have we heard about this, or are you making this up? I'm not so sure. Though for what it's worth, when we were on the podcast the other day and one of the questions was what would you like to see on the crossovers, I did say I'd like to see some G.I. Joe love, because I'd be interested to see the correlation between how big a Transformer you can make it before it can start scaling with a 3.5 inch, 3.25 inch action figure. Richard Joe Stellarfield, who do you want to be the next Prime? Now this is the thing that was up the other day. There were like 4 options, and you know what? All of them are shit. I don't want to play your silly game. I don't understand. You tell us what the next Prime is. That's how the fiction works. When you ask for stuff, you end up getting Star Saber instead of fucking Galaxy Convoy. And the annoying thing is, everyone who's got a Star Saber has bought it because someone else has sold theirs because no one wants them anymore. I would fucking love a Star Saber. I don't know anything about it. It's a stupid, ridiculous toy that I hate with a passion. But the bone white plastic on it and the red just looks so pretty. And I just want one in my life. Give it to me now. Bill Harrison, was Enemy at the Gate an anticlimax? What's Enemy at the Gate? Bill Ledson, are you entering the cosplay competition at this year's TF Nation? No, but Emily is. There isn't a competition for me this year because there's no custom toy competition at TFN. And last year's idea that I would definitely have done if I hadn't have done the one that I'd done, which I love, and really needs to go and live with Stu to go in his collection. Needs doing. It haunts me. There was an idea, it was a beautiful idea, and since subsequently one of these characters has been represented in current Toysies. Beer. I really want to do it. Connor Carter, who your most best Transformer you like and why? Who your most best in Transformer like and why? Say Grimlock. I like that. Sorry, is that rude? Bad Gramsci. No one can write anymore. All the kids are just sat there with their phones going boop 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 boop. Oh, autocorrect. Look, the fish in the flop flop beep beep blop blue. None of it makes any sense. Who is your most best Transformer you like and why? Well, it's Optimus Prime, because I've got fucking hundreds of them. Because I just like them. MP10 gives me great joy still. My Sonic Convoy gives me great joy still. I love that thing. Striker Manus is beautiful. The bloody motherfucking Jinrai. That I want in my life. And I can't have. Because it's just too expensive. I'm hoping there are going to be some at TF Nation. That's the best I can hope for. John Hughes! Now that you have your Grail, are you satisfied? No! Because I've not even made it into a truck. I've put it in there so as not to lose any of the bits, closed the glass cabinet that I specifically bought for that toy, and when I'm not losing these bits, out it went. No more playing with that toy, don't want to get no dust on it. No. Nev, don't get your Grail, it's shit. Do you think it's good or bad thing that Capaldi is leaving Doctor Who? Good. No, bad. It's not Capaldi's fault. He's been a shit doctor with shit scripts. What can you do? What can you do? It's not fair on him. I think he's been interesting. I think he's just... It would be like... It's like taking a winning Formula 1 car and having it driven by Mr. Bean. The last series was just poor and it lost me. It hasn't been good at all since Matt Smith. Dale Bentley, is this too much choice right now? I've got 2 minutes to talk about it. Go and look up Fans Toys 17, FT17 Hoodlum, which is their version of Hot Rod. I thought everyone would have the same opinion of me until I found out that a certain someone has the very opposite opinion of me, because I think this thing is stone cold beautiful, purely on the basis that I don't like the Masterpiece one at all. It looks like... It's just horrible. The proportions are funny, and there are so many toys with really beautiful torso, shoulder, chest, hips, and then that Hot Rod is just like one half of the table that your mum gets out so everyone can sit around it at Christmas, and then some matchsticks sticking out of 4 edges, and I don't like it at all. Hot Rod is the new Megatron in that it's the most misrepresented toy now, because Megatron's always got massively stitched up, but oh shit, FT17's beautiful. It's a pretty. I've sworn a lot during this, and I don't care. I'm out of focus. I'm still out of focus. Oh, look at my beautiful blue eyes. Beautiful blue eyes. I quite enjoyed this. Thank you for your questions. It's been alright. I don't know if I'm going to edit it or just put it back up. I need to watch it first to make sure I haven't said anything horrible, but I'm nowhere near drunk enough to have done anything particularly. I got a new job. It's going okay. I made a model channel called Smodels. You can probably find it if you ask me nicely.